Welcome to From the Pastor's Kitchen, where I get to share with you two of my greatest passions, my love for Christ and cooking. Today I am going to cook some mustard, turnips, and spinach. My mother would always prepare them together. The flavor was just absolutely wonderful. So what I'm going to do today is that I am going to peel them off the stems, pull them off the stems, clean them for you, show you how I clean them, and actually cut them. Now, it won't be the actual way that I do the collards, but they'll be somewhat in the same similar manner, because you want to cut them down some as well. And then we'll prepare them to put them in the pot and cook. Let's go to the greens now. I am picking my greens, whether it's mustards and turnips or collards. I try to take them all off the stem. I don't leave any of the stem on, because sometimes it takes it a long time to cook the stem on as well. And all my nutrients will be in my greens as well. And so this is just a little quick tutorial on how to actually pick your greens. You want to pick them off the stem. Now these are mustards. I have some turnips that I've already done like this, but I thought since I'm going to do an entire video on the greens, it would be good to show someone what to do if they are a novice at actually cooking greens. This is all that I do. I take them all off the stem. Some people take a knife and go down the stem, especially if they're collards, you can do that. But I'm so accustomed to doing it by hand. When we were younger, my mother would have us in the kitchen and we had to pick the greens. We didn't cook them, but we would have to pick the greens and participate in some form of actually cooking, so that the onus would not be on her and she had to do it all. So this, once again, just pull them off the stems. You don't need the stems on them at all. Some people cook with them on. I prefer not to. If you buy them already in a bag, they are peeled and they just cut them and the stems are on them. I don't like that. I like to get my greens fresh and to do them like this. All right? And I'll be back once I have all of them washed and cleaned, and I'll show you how we cut them as well. All right? Okay, I'm about to clean these collard greens. Now, everybody clean theirs differently. Online, you will hear that it says to take the water and put them in water, let them sit and soak for a little bit of time, and just rinse them again and again. These greens are so dirty sometimes, you need to put a little bit of something on it. Baking soda, I've tried at times too, but I take a little bit of hand detergent, put it in my hand, and then sprinkle over. That's all that I'm going to do with these. And keep the water going to clean these again and again and again. I'm going to stop my sink up and let them sit in this water like this, and I'm going to rinse it again and again and again. That is how I clean my greens. In this sink now, I have mustards, turnips, and spinach. Is what I grew up with in cooking. Mustard, turnips, and spinach. This looks like a lot of greens, but it's going to cook down to a little bit of nothing. Trust me, it will. Okay? I normally put like a turkey neck or something in there, but I am making a meal for someone and they're going to have the pigtails, which would be adequate enough. So I'm just going to do just the veggies only with no meat in there at all in here. So I'm going to let this fill up with water, rinse them a couple of times, and then I'll be back and I'll show you exactly how we're going to cut these up too. Okay, fam, I am back as I promised. I just want to show you a little something. If you must cut your greens up, and a lot of times you don't have to do mustards and turnips, but if you do, I like to take a handful of them, put them together and roll them as best as I can, and then cut them like so that they're not so big. And especially if you got some collard greens, you can do them like that and put them in there, over here in my bowl, so that they're not so big. So I'll take a handful of them. I can't really roll these like I do the collards. Put them down there together, go through them, cut down through them, okay? And put them over here. So you don't have huge leaves of spinach, which is gonna, huge leaves of turnips, which is gonna be so important, okay? So I'm gonna continue on, do one more bunch for you. I just take them and ball them together. If they were collard greens, I could roll them up together. I can't do these like that. Cut them down. Cut them. And cut them. That is it. I have mustard, turnips, and spinach. Mustard, turnips, and spinach. Okay, we're going to cut them all up, and then we're going to prepare them and put them over in the pot. Okay, the greens are cleaned, and we are getting ready to put them in the pot. But before I put them in the pot, I'm going to add the seasoning, and I want you to come and go along with me as I put my seasonings in this pot. All right? Okay, we're going to add the seasonings. This is my old oil that I'm putting in from the bacon that I cooked. You know, that old bacon oil that we would put in, that Mom said put in. She left over in a Crisco can. I'm putting this down in here. Okay, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna add a tablespoon or 2 of minced garlic in my grains. Everybody do theirs differently. 1, this is teaspoon. So it's going to be 2 tablespoons of garlic in my grains. Right? Gonna take, this is one of my favorites to add to greens. Vegetable bouillon. The flavoring is sensational, I tell you. So you want to put this in there. You don't have to add a whole lot of salt in it either with this. I put a tablespoon in here of this in there. That should do it. Everybody does theirs differently, so I can add some flavor to this. Then I'm going to add some black pepper in here. I'm putting all this in before I put in my greens. So it can go all through and through my greens. And then as I am cooking, if I need to put more in it, I put more in it. I'm going to put just a little adobo, not much. That's my adobo. Now I'm going to start adding my greens to the pot. They're going to cook down. It's going to be amazing. Let's add the greens to here. Mustards and turnips and spinach. Okay. I'm going to turn this fire up some. The higher the better, because then they cook down immediately. You keep adding them and adding them to the pot there. Keep adding them and adding them. And let them cook down. The water come to a boil rather quickly. I'm going to get all these grains in this one pot. And remember now, I've got my pigtails cooking separately. I put them not in my pot, but I put them in the oven this time. I want these to cook down. So I'm going to let those cook a little bit. We'll come back and we'll add the others to it. Okay, it's time to add the remaining greens in this pot. Let me see if I can get them all in here. Sometimes it takes me 3 times, but you see how it cooked down? Then you push them down. Don't be afraid to push them down in the pot so we can move forward. Get them in here as many as you can. They're gonna cook down. I put about 1/3 of water equivalent to this pot in here so that I could add my seasonings to this. Okay, now push this down. I believe I can get them all in here. And greens will make water themselves, so you don't have to add a lot of water. I've seen some people fill their pots up with water. There's no need to do that. Water's gonna come off the greens too. Okay. I'm gonna get all these greens in this pot. For someone who doesn't cook greens, you'd be looking at them like, you're not gonna get them all in the pot. Yes, you are. You're gonna get them all in the pot. Trust me. Trust me. Been doing this for years now. Make it work. Make it work. All my greens. Trying to get down good to the last drop of it in here. That is it. We're going to push these down. We're going to come back and we'll test them along the way to add additional seasoning to it, to your taste. So I gave you the main ingredients, and we're going to add the seasoning to our taste in here. Because you want to taste your food. How do you taste the greens? Off the broth that's in here. Okay, we call it the pot liquor. So we call it. Okay. So you want to taste that, and that will be the actual flavoring of your greens. That's how your greens will taste. So I'm going to bring this temperature down some. Let these cook. Let about 35 to 40 minutes. All right, there we go. Hey P fam, the mustard, turnip, and spinach greens are done. About 40 minutes. They don't take as long as collards because they're not a really thick green at all. So I did mustard, turnips, and spinach. It's what I'm accustomed to. It's how my mother cooked them, and they are wonderful. Check out the recipe, and I hope you were inspired. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to put them in a bowl to give you a better presentation of them, but they're done in the pot. Give me a moment and let me take them out the pot so you can see them in a bowl. Okay, P-Fam, this is the final presentation of the mustard, turnip, and spinach greens in a bowl. Presentation says everything. I did some homemade cornbread the other day. Oh, they're going to go well with this. These greens, I can't wait today. Remember, share with me your thoughts. Provide me your comments. Let me know some other dishes that you'd like for me to prepare. I love, my specialty is soul food, in case you didn't know. I love that, but I can just about cook anything. Ask me, and let's see what we can do. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.